Thank you, Umar. I have a supplementary question. This travel clearance, it is affecting only people who are holding a diplomatic passport or both? Diplomatic passport and the ordinary passport. Whether it is affecting both of them, especially at the level of the airport when you are traveling.
The protocol covers people working in the civil service, public servants. So, and public servants, there are some who have diplomatic passports and others who don't have diplomatic passports. And what it means is just covering all those who are within the framework and in the service of the government of the Gambia.
Thank you very much once again, ma'am. I just want to inquire, sometimes there are official travels and unofficial, like where the Serekunda is coming from. There are instances whereby you might be going for an official travel, probably in our sister Republic of Senegal, which is not very much far. So you may go in for probably a day travel, but at the border, you will be asked whether you have the clearance or not. Is this definitely put into consideration?
People who are on personal missions and who are confronted with a security point need to bring that to the attention of government, because that is a private visit. It's only people who are sponsored, are working in the office of in the public service, and more so those who are traveling for scholarships and traveling for conferences representing government and the people of Gambia.
I have the constituency tag because I'm going to limit the supplementary questions, otherwise, yes, Muli West.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Would your office be kind enough to review the process, since it has been acknowledged that it is confronted with challenges and even genuine requests have been refused sometimes? Would you be able to review the process? Thank you.
Thank you. The process is, as any process, is a dynamic element. We review the process or processes as we encounter challenges. So on a weekly basis, we look at what the challenges are. We also look at critically the shortcomings of SCOT, because no institution is perfect. But for the issue of genuine requests, it is important to clarify that they might be genuine, yet we don't have resources for it. Sometimes people request for genuine travels without consulting the budget, their institutional budget, to see whether or not there is adequate resources to sponsor them. And this is where we have a difficulty.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Nominated Member Yasin.
Thank you very much, Ma. Honorable Vice President, I would like to know that since you are saying, you emphasize that maybe to make people be aware of this clearance, are there any mechanisms put in place, or if not, do you intend to? Because it seems that people are not aware of this. So what are the mechanisms put in place so that people will know that these are issues that should be addressed? Thank you.
Thank you.
That's a fundamental question. What we intend to do, because this is the first time we are learning about that, and what we intend to do, what we will do from here, would be to consult with the Ministry of Interior, bring it to his attention and sit with him to devise an appropriate mechanism to avoid such occurrence.
Thank you. Banjul North, and that's the last.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Madam Vice President, considering the challenges that have been highlighted, could you consider divesting that responsibility of the National Assembly to the National Assembly, giving its independent nature, that the National Assembly be responsible for travel clearance of members of the National Assembly, since it is an independent institution?
Thank you.
We take the question back home and work it out with all stakeholders, including the National Assembly, and at some point we will come up with the most appropriate answer.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Sit down. Thank you. Thank you. Question number 166 of 2017 by the Honorable Member for Lower Nyumi.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for giving me the floor. As she is standing before the Minister, I wish to express my congratulations to her on her new appointment, as you did earlier. The question says, Madam Speaker, a large number of civil servants who worked for many years with dedication have had their services summarily terminated. Could the Honorable Minister responsible for the civil service explain to this August Assembly how many have been reinstated, compensated, or retired?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, it may please this august body to note that a task force headed by the Secretary General has been established by His Excellency the President in February 2017 to review the cases of all public servants who were summarily dismissed or terminated between September 1997 to December 2016. The task force has since reviewed all the cases received, and as I speak, 100 officials have so far been reinstated in the public service. The task force has concluded its work, and a comprehensive report with recommendations has been submitted to the Office of the President. The affected personnel will either be reinstated or retired and paid a severance package in accordance with the law. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any supplementary questions? You satisfied with the answers? Yes, Serekunda.
Honorable Speaker, would the Vice President indicate to this august body what mechanism is in place for those who are still disadvantaged in the process to appeal for consideration? Is there a mechanism that is still in place? Because there are still complaints outstanding. Thank you.
Thank you.
As any process, this was widely publicized that people who were either dismissed or terminated were given the opportunity to make a recourse through the Office of the President. and many have done it. Exceptionally, in any situation, not everybody would get the information, or maybe not everybody would be aware of the existence of such a mechanism. So we didn't think about those the last to come requests, but we will take it, we have taken note of it, and we shall confer with different stakeholders under the leadership of the Office of the President, and shall provide this National Assembly with the appropriate answer.
Thank you very much. Member for Banjul South.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Madam Vice President, for giving us the privilege to answer the questions on behalf of the President. But my concern...
Member, can you speak loud enough so that everybody can hear?
Sorry. My concern is that you specifically mentioned September 97 to December 2016. And what has happened to those that were dismissed from July 1994 to September 1997, which is 3 years and 2 months to be exact? What would have happened to those? So would they just be ignored, or? Thank you. That is my concern.
Thank you, Honorable Member. We had the cutoff date of September. Given the circumstances, we took over. It is a pertinent question which we will consult together with all the stakeholders and see, because I consider it, the government considers it as a fundamental right across the board. If we can look at from September, there is a reason for us to look at the others. But then this answer will be provided after consultation on the matter.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Nyamina West. Pardon? Nyamina West. Or Nyamina West.
Yes, Madam Speaker, thank you for giving me the floor. Could the Honorable Minister for Civil Servants, a large number of civil servants were missing, or some confirmed dead. Is there any mechanism for your office to compensate those families?
Thank you. The government has instituted a commission. Initially, it is a consultative body under the Honorable Minister of Justice, which will look into truth, reconciliation, and reparation. And what you are now saying, it's crucial. It will be within the mandate of the Commission to identify, by calling upon all stakeholders who have lost their loved ones, to tell us the details of the lost ones, if they are working in the civil service or even if they were private citizens. And based on the list that will be provided to the Commission, and the Commission later subsequently provided to government, would then allow government to take the appropriate action.
Your Excellency. Honorable Member for Banjul North.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could the Honorable Vice President look into the complaints of some of the civil servants who have been reinstated, but claiming that they are downgraded? They are reinstated to positions lower than the positions they occupied previously.
Thank you.
The government is very open to people who have been downgraded to listen to their complaints, to see to what extent the decision was made, and then it will take appropriate action. What I want to add is that this government is a government of accountability, not only by word, rhetoric, but to the letter and spirit of accountability. So whatever issues you raise in this August body will be taken up seriously, and at some point we will formally update this National Assembly on the outcome of those issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Minority Leader, please.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me the floor again. Your Excellency, the Vice President, in your answer, you made mention there is a task force established, and it is headed by the Secretary General.
Honorable, can you...
My concern is, during the termination of this civil servant or dismissed, the Secretary General, the present Secretary General, was the head of the Personal Management Office. Don't you think it was better to look for a neutral person to head that task force?
Sorry, Your Excellency, with all due respect, Honorable, if I get you rightly, it appears as if you are asking for a personal opinion. I would rather the supplementary question be directed to the main issues and be substantive rather than asking for opinions.
I don't think it's an opinion. What I'm saying, in the response, it is, Madam Speaker, it may be pleased this august body to note that a task force is headed by the Secretary General. Here, I have a concern here. The issue, what I am trying to put in place, during the termination, most of the civil servants, during their termination or dismissed, what I'm saying, the present Secretary General was in place. Then I think to do justice to those who are dismissed, it was better a neutral person to head that task force. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, thank you very much. I will still rule that it's a matter of opinion, and I'll overrule the question. Can I call on the Honourable Member for Kantora, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam, for giving me the opportunity. Once again, I welcome, also congratulate you for the appointment as the Vice President as well. For issues of accountability and transparency, as you earlier on highlighted, since 1997 to date, to 2016, about 19 years, and we've also acknowledged the effort you've done in trying to reinstate them and also try to compensate them. And I'm concerned about the monetary aspect now. Has this thing been budgeted, or from which budget line did you source this funding to compensate them? Or what are the measures you've done to source this funding? Some of the things that you've paid to these people that have actually been terminated wrongfully. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
This is what you call in financial accounting unexpected expenditure. Hence, what we did was to critically look at the budget and see where you had under expenditure. In some budget lines, we had to redeploy those funds to meet the needs of the people who were terminated. Because in terms of priority, you cannot terminate somebody. It's not really human right to terminate somebody and ask the person or individuals to wait. Once you terminate, you should be ready to work out the modalities to settle the payment so that the person can move forward with his or her life.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The last question, supplementary question, nominated member.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, during the period of February 2007, there were civil servants that were still in prison, that were charged with bogus economic crime charges.
Please, can you use your mic so that everybody, people are at the extreme corners of the assembly.
During the period, February 2007, when the commission to review the cases of public servants was set up, there were certain civil servants that were still in mile 2 during this period and did not have the chance to put their cases forward. And they were charged through the courts and sentenced through the courts on bogus cases. Will these individuals have the chance to present their cases and have it dealt with? Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a very important question, and we are not aware of public servants who were still incarcerated before and after the setting up of this committee. But it is an element that needs to be looked into, and we shall definitely look into it and come back to the National Assembly with an appropriate answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. That would be the end for the supplementary questions on this question. So may I now proceed to the next question, which is question number 167 of 2017 by the Honorable Member for Nyamina East. Now, I am not sure whether the Honorable Member, in view of present circumstances, would still want to continue with the question, or you would want to withdraw the question.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. You will agree with me that this question was submitted well
Sorry,
before...
I cannot hear you well.
I am saying,
yes,
you will agree with me that this question was submitted well before the appointment of the Vice President. So as a result of that, I rise to withdraw the questions as the Vice President is appointed. On that note, I would like to felicitate you for your new appointment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President and Minister for Women's Affairs, for stepping in for the President for the answers provided to this august body. Clerk, can we proceed with the next set of questions for the Honorable Minister?
Questions for oral answers by the Honorable Minister of Defense, to be represented by Her Excellency the Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs.
Thank you. Questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Defense by Honorable members for oral reply. Question number 164 of 2017 by the Honorable Member for Birkaman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving the floor. Madam Speaker, could the Minister of Defense consider relocating Lance Corporal Lamin Bojang Fire Range in Brikama Jamisa to another safe place, since this place is virtually surrounded by settlements, schools, and proposed site for a stadium, posing serious threat to unavoidable human activities?
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, training in the armed forces is a continuous process and is the key to success in the execution of their constitutional mandates, both at home and abroad. Thus, the close proximity of the range to major military installations, most particular training facilities in the Greater Banjul area, saves the armed forces a huge cost. Given the ever-changing geopolitical setup, vis-à-vis the complex nature of contemporary threats to the world peace, would certainly require the Gambia Armed Forces to engage in training and retraining programs and activities that adequately address and or mitigate against these known and unknown threats. It is against this background that the use of the range is definitely invaluable during all training activities. Relocating it in any possible location will require substantial resources. The Gambia Armed Forces High Command has over the years engaged officials and elders of Brikama in a constructive dialogue regarding the alarming state of encroachment at the Brikama range. The primary objective of such an approach on the part of the Gambia Armed Forces is to come up with all-inclusive and balanced conclusion to this issue, which will serve the best interests of not only GAF and the community, but Brikama, Jamisa as a population. The use of modern technology and the continuous development of it will always add value to the safety measures that are put in place by the Gambia Armed Forces during range activities. It is high on the new command of the Gambia Armed Forces to renovate the range by revamping and solidifying the BAT area with the use of modern and state-of-the-art equipment to improve the safety measures. The Gambia Armed Forces shares with heartfelt sympathy the concerns of the residents of the area about their safety. The range has been in use for years without any single incident or accident, and the range is clearly demarcated. The range is only used to fire small arms and does not pose any hazards in the community. The Gambia Armed Forces highly solicits the understanding of the general public and by allowing the range to remain where it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Brikama South.
Thank you very much, Madam. As a matter of fact, the range is situated in an area whereby most of the schools in Brikama are situated in that particular area. And the schools are not only there to provide academic discipline during daytime, even at night, the place is used as a study class for the jewelers. And again, what they are saying, there are a lot of coincidental accidents whereby, because they use live ammunition sometimes. And there are instances whereby we have cases of death. So if you look at the area, technically it's surrounded by the entire place and it is facing a stadium. The GFA intended project is going to be constructed in that particular area. So therefore, we want to appeal to Her Excellency to reconsider relocating that particular range because it's not conducive anymore. Thank you.
Thank you.
Subsequent to the submission of the answers provided this morning, we have been consulting among us, that is the Gambia Armed Forces, the Ministry of Defense, and other stakeholders, including the community, to see the best, to seek or to arrive at the best solution. Of course, safety, human security takes precedence over training. And because of that, and based on that premise, we are still consulting including with the Ministry of Lands and local government, to see what is the best way forward. And of course, taking into consideration the safety of our people in Brikama Jamisa and also people who will be frequenting the football field. So at the appropriate time, this August Assembly will have an update on this matter.
Thank you very much. Brikama North.
Madam Speaker, the Vice President did mention in her response that over the years, the community of Brikama were engaged